got a little bit tougher, agreed? Okay. Mainly with those fractions, we had to worry about plugging in. Well, rest assured, today I don't think you're going to have any fractions. You're welcome. I can still be your favorite math teacher, right? Okay. Now we're going to build upon your idea of writing equations. Okay, and you guys did this in chapter 3, but now we're going to have more sentence format. And many times people panic, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some key phrases to look for. Okay, we want to write our equations in y equals mx plus b form. Remember this form? Everybody should be writing this down. Y equals mx plus b form. Remind me, what does m stand for? Slope. Slope is something that happens over and over. Okay, it happens over and over. You look for the word per or each. If you see the word per or each, that's going to tell you what your slope is. B is your y-intercept. Nicely done. And your y-intercept is your starting point. Your initial value, or a one-time fee. Okay? Your y-intercept is a starting point, an initial value, or a one-time fee. So we 100% have to read through this, but we're going to look for the word per or each first, and then we're going to talk about maybe a one-time fee or something they have to pay right away. Okay, let's go back and read this. Bill needs to read 4 novels each month. Let N be the number of novel Bill needs to read in M months. Write an equation relating N to M. Then graph your equation using the axes below. First, we need to find our slope. Does anybody see one of our keywords, per or each? Miss Marilyn, where do you see that? Very good. 4 novels each month. So guess what 4 is? 4 is my slope. Is there any information that tells you how many books Bill started with, or anywhere that he had to pay anything to start? I don't. So in this case, in this problem, there's no y-intercept. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. In this problem, the only thing they gave us is a slope. So in this case, we really only have y equals mx. But Marilyn just told us our slope is 4. So my equation should actually say, very good, y equals 4x. The unfortunate part, they're going to count that wrong. Anybody know why? Oh, without graphing, they're going to tell us our equations are wrong. Write an equation relating N to M. Okay? Don't give it to me because I've listened to it the whole hour. Okay? They don't want you to have Y's and X's. Look at your graph. What letters do you see there? N and M. So the hard part of today is we have to swap out letters. What normally is on the bottom of my graph here? X is usually down here. They want us to use M. So we need to go over here, and instead of X, we need an M there. And on this side is usually our Y, but they want us to have N. N equals 4M is our correct equation. Now they'll say, yep, you're right. Now we have to graph it, though. Okay? We're going to graph it by making an XY table, just like yesterday. But Ms. Hoff is going to tell you, you only need 2 points. Ms. Hoff is fine with you having 2 points. And you get to pick it. And there's no fractions, so it's way easier. Okay? Look at the bottom. You can pick any of these numbers. Liana already said, let's pick one, right? What's another number we should pick? 0. I would pick 0 every time. 0 and 1. Okay? And the equation we're plugging into is 4m. So really this x should be an m. So if I plug a 0 in there, 4 times 0 is 0. So the point I need to graph is 0, 0. Yep, just the origin. Now I plug in a 1. 4 times 1 is 4. So my point is 1, 4. So then we go over to our graph. Nicely done, you guys. I like it. 0, 0. And then over 1 and up 4. And then we would use that line tool to graph it. Okay? No fractions today. No fractions today. You do? Well, good. It's good. Okay, let's try it again. Remember, we're looking for our slope and our y-intercept. Owners of a recreation area are filling a small pond with water. They are adding water at a rate of 5 liters per minute. There are 500 liters in the pond to start. Let W represent the amount of water in the pond. Let T represent the number of minutes that the water has been added. Write an equation relating W to T, and then graph your equation using the axes below. Okay, we start with y equals mx plus b. Petra, what you got for me? You see something already? What you see? Where is that? 5. Because of the word per. Does everybody see that? Yeah. Petro picked up that right away. Good job. So this tells us this is our slope. Anybody see something that would indicate my y-intercept, Marilyn? Y 500. What word tells you that? Say it again. Nope. Start. See that word to start? Oops, not M, B. To start. That's your initial value. Okay? So now we're going to replace our M and our B. So our equation, instead of y equals mx plus b, should say y equals 5 or 500? 5x 500. Now, they're going to count this wrong, and both of you said that. Okay, now we got to go figure out our letters. Down here normally is which letter? X. They have a T. This one's usually Y, and it's W. So instead of Y equals 5x plus 500, this should be W equals 5t plus 500. So I will tell you, I've been teaching this stuff for 13 years, and I've been doing it way longer than this. Ms. Hoff still always starts with y equals mx plus b, because that's how it makes sense in my head. And then I use my graph to change my letters out, okay? Now we're going to make a table. We're picking letters for T, and we're going to calculate W. Jack already says 0. Bryce says 1. Love it. 100? Now be careful, you got to pick numbers that are down here. We only got 1 through 10. Okay, so if I plug in 0, what do I do first? Multiply or add? Multiply. What's 5 times 0? 0 plus 500 is 500. So my point is 0, 500. Nicely done. Now if I plug in a 1. Oops. I almost wrote 505 before I got there. 5 times 1, 5, plus 500 is 505. So my point was 1, 505. Excellent. Now here's the tricky part of today, and it's not really tricky. You're going to make Alex do your work. There's a button over here. Is everybody watching? There's a button over here, and it's got an XY axis, and then it's got a little red X up here. And when you click that button on your computer, this box pops up and says, where do you want Alex to put a point? And that's when you will type in 0, 500 plot point. It'll put it on the graph for you. And then you type in 1, 505, plot point. It'll put it on the graph for you. And then you use the line tool to connect it. Because your mouse will only let you put it on the grid lines, it won't know where 505 is. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you have to tell Alex, do the work for me. You know what's even better? You will never graph it wrong. That's awesome, right? Put your laptop away. We're not done. Okay? Good so far. You guys did well on that one. I know we didn't draw a graph, but Alex will do it for you. Okay, flip it over. You guys are going to be really good at this part. I know you are. A plumber charges a flat fee of $76 to visit a home and examine a clogged drain. The plumber charges an additional $21 per hour to fix the drain. The total cost for fixing a drain that takes H hours is given by the following equation. So they actually gave us the equation. And I just want to point out to you, it says $21 per hour. That's why that's the slope. And then it says a flat fee of $76. That's my y-intercept. Okay? So it's already written for you. They want to know, what's the cost for fixing a drain that takes 6 hours? Change our, what is 6 really? 6 is our hours, or in other words, in our equation, it's our H, yes? So if we take our equation, C equals 21H plus 76, but replace H with a 6. 21, and then in parentheses 6 plus 76. What do I do first? You multiply, everybody grab your calculator. 21 times 6, 126. Then we add 76 to it, 202. What label would go on 202? No, careful. H was 6. This is our C. What does C stand for? Cost. So what label would go on 202? Cost. Label. Like 6 is a time in hours. C is our cost. 202 pennies, 202 nickels, dollars, $202. Okay? You know how else you know that? It says in dollars. Okay. A plumber goes to a different job, or the same plumber but goes to a different house. He charges $307. How many hours was he there spent fixing the drain? So in the last one, Pedro said, hey, 6 is really our H. It's our hours. This time they gave us 307. What is that this time? That's our cost, or in other words, our C, right? So now we have to take our equation, C equals 21H plus 76, and we're going to put 307 in for C. 307 equals 21H plus 76. Back to chapter 2, solving equations. Oh, you know how to do this. What do you want to do, Liana? 76 has got to go to the other side. So how am I going to get it there? Subtract it. Nicely done. You guys were really good at doing equations, so don't get frustrated. I know you can do it. Grab your calculator. 307 minus 76, 231 equals, and I drag down 21, whoops, if I could actually read that, 21H. Then I, careful, divide by 21. H is 11. What's my label for H? What is H measured in? Hours. 11 hours. That's one heck of a clog if they're at your house for 11 hours. Yikes. Hopefully you have a whole new bathroom by that point. Okay? Let's do it again. I want you to practice this. How long did that take us? A minute? Yeah. 2 maybe? 2 hours. Oh no. The sugar sweet company is going to transport its sugar to market. It will cost $5,500 to rent trucks, plus $150 for each ton of sugar transported. The total cost, C, in dollars, for transporting N tons is given by the following. They give us the equation. What is the total cost for transporting 11 tons? 11 tons goes in for what letter? N. N equals 11. So take our equation and put 11 in for N on your own and solve it. See how much the sugar sweet company is going to have to pay. Quiet hands, please. What should you do first? Nope. What do you do first? Go back. What on our A? What do we do first? You gotta multiply. Go get one. You gotta multiply first. You gotta multiply first. PEMDAS. PEMDAS. It is gonna be a big number. PEMDAS. Multiply first. When you multiply those? Absolutely. But then what do you have to do? Yep. Hold on. Did you get an extra 0 in there? Ooh, you put 11 in the wrong spot. 11 goes with your 150, yeah. So when you take 150 times 11, I think you got 1,650. Yes? And then you should have added those together and you get 7,150? No? Yes? And what label goes on that? Dollars. $7,150. Now in this one, they tell us the cost is 9,100. How many times, miss off as a typo here, how many tons is the company transporting? So this time our C is 9,100. Draw your line down the middle. Be careful, 150 has your N on it. Cover up your variable N. What do you need to move? 5,500. How am I going to move it? Subtract 5,500. Is it 3,600? Then I divide by 150. 24? Anybody else get 24? Yes. Label on 24. Tons. Tons. Miss Hoff's typo doesn't help when I typoed that in there. Tons. What two words mean slope? Per and each. Your y-intercept is a number that is getting you started. Do you always have to have one? No, just like that very first problem with the books. Okay? Grab some scratch paper and get started. I want to be able to do an activity tomorrow, but that takes full effort today. Full focused effort.